news. So it appears that Skip Bayless is out at FS1. It appears that he will be having his last show sometime in the summer, and the summer is almost up. So in all likelihood, it'll be in August due to the fact that the ratings have, since the departure of Shannon Sharp, people expected this to happen. He predicted it would happen. I knew it was coming. Too Raw saw it coming, and now it's came. I'm not gonna say good things. All good things come to an end because, listen, y'all know how I feel about Skip Bayless. I have always not liked Skip Bayless. I've always thought that Skip Bayless was a suspect white supremacist. Because at the end of the day, Skip Bayless always had these elaborate, colorful nicknames for black athletes, but he never really had one for the white athletes. And Skip Bayless used to try to hide behind the fact that he'd have Lil Wayne's sorry, junky, coon ass on the show, making, intros for the show and stuff. But at the end of the day, nobody really respect Lil Wayne like that. We all know Lil Wayne is a junkie. We all know that he's a dope fiend, besides other things, and he's a coon. So am I surprised by this happening? Absolutely not. We all knew that the ratings were going down the toilet, based off how he disrespected Shannon Sharp. And I'm going to keep 100. Advocate for violence, you know what I'm saying, unless it's absolutely necessary. But Skip Bayless is lucky that Shannon didn't whoop his ass when Shannon Sharp got blatantly disrespected and lightweight humiliated by Skip Bayless when he implied that he was jealous of resident cheater Tom Brady, or should I say shady Tom Brady. But nevertheless, everybody remembered the infamous show. Everybody saw it. Everybody was talking about it. And then Shannon Sharp pretty much organized a buyout, to leave to leave FS1 for ESPN. And Shannon Sharp has flourished. Keep in mind, Shannon Sharp got one of the biggest interviews, one of the most watched interviews on YouTube in history. If it's not the most watched, it might be the most viewed interview in YouTube history. So, like I said before, I've just never been fond of Skip Bayless, just for years, watching how condescending he used to be. And like I said, he was always very condescending and standoffish and disrespectful towards primarily the black athletes. Man never played a lick of professional sports in his life. But the way he would just try to disrespect people, calling Chris Bosh out his name, just calling Allen Iverson out his name, trying to disrespect, boxers like Floyd Mayweather and all them type of people, even though I'm not the biggest Floyd Mayweather fan at this day and time, but, just for years. And basically, it got to the point to where people didn't really want to come on the show. Nobody likes Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is universally not liked. When I say people of all races do not like Skip Bayless, keep in mind he's been going at it for years with Charles Barkley, and who can forget that racist article that he wrote about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that you can still look up. That should tell you who Skip Bayless' true character is. And then he tries to hide behind the fact saying that he got raised by a black woman that he considered his mother. Well, we don't have no proof of that. Who is she? Can we find her? Can we look her up? Just because some black woman gave you some cookies or something and made you you know what I'm saying, and made you a fresh glass of lemonade, don't mean she's your, adopted surrogate, you know what I'm saying, play mama. I don't believe Skip Bayless one bit. And just because he got raised by a quote-unquote black woman doesn't mean that he likes black men. We've seen this time and time again. Just because you white bitch that sleep with black men don't mean you're not a racist. Just because you some punk ass, cracker white boy don't mean that and sleep with black women don't mean that you like all black people as a whole. So, that just need to be said. My thing is, I would be mean to say good riddance, but whatever. in all likelihood, Skip Bayless will be probably headed back to ESPN. I'm pretty sure ESPN will make a spot for him, and I'm pretty sure that Stephen A. Smith right now is begging ESPN to bring him back. So in all likelihood, Skip Bayless probably will make a return to ESPN. So I'm not going to sit up here and gloat and say ha 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 ha. But let's just see. We all know that Skip Bayless did wear out his welcome at ESPN, but times have changed. He may be welcome back. I don't think the same people were still at ESPN when Skip Bayless left ESPN, so we'll just have to see. But like I said, Skip Bayless is the worst of the worst to me. Just have never cared for that dude. I remember listening to Skip Bayless when he would do radio, when he would be a guest host on the Ticket 1050, when he was a writer, I think, for the San Francisco Chronicle. So I remember Skip Bayless back in the early 2000s before he even got on TV. And I used to always just hear something in his voice, that annoying voice of his, that annoying, scraggly, shaggy-like voice of his from Scooby-Doo, and he just always annoyed me. I just never liked the dude. And that was just me. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, AZ. He the one that, like I said, he the one that was calling Chris Bosh out his name. He was constantly disrespecting Russell Westbrook. He was, like I said before, he always had these elaborate names for the black athletes. Man, that show is in ruins. I mean, he was always coming after Russell Westbrook, and I think he started a thing where people just started really just going in on Russell Westbrook. I've criticized Russell Westbrook, but not to the extent that Skip Bayless did. And this is what I say about Skip Bayless. He primarily just aligns himself and just constantly piles on black athletes. Hardly says anything about the white boys. Skip Bayless will be doing his final show sometime, probably in August. But if I was a gambler, man, Skip Bayless is probably headed back to ESPN. I'm pretty sure they'll find a show to give him on ESPN where he could run off another co-host. I'm almost guaranteeing that they'll find a show for him to basically run off his next co-host. And then the thing about Skip Bayless, even when you prove to Skip Bayless that he doesn't know what he's talking about, just like when Floyd Mayweather's father exposed him for his lack of knowledge pertaining to boxing, he still tried to talk to Floyd Mayweather Sr. like he knew what he was talking about. Like, dude, just take your L, man. Just take your L and leave it at that. Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, at the end of the day, Shannon was the real star of the show. But then, a lot of people was annoyed by how Skip Bayless disrespected Shannon Sharp. People keep saying, well, Shannon Sharp should have beat Skip Bayless up. Man, are you guys nuts? Do y'all know what would have happened to Shannon Sharp if he would have put his hands on Skip Bayless? Y'all got to understand, he ain't Jim Everett when Jim Everett had to sling Jim Rome's ass halfway across the room, and Jim Rome deserved it too. Y'all can see that footage when Jim Rome kept calling Jim Everett Chris. He was basically calling him Chris Everett. He was calling him a chick. And basically Chris Everett grabbed Jim Rome and he slung his ass halfway across the room, and I loved every minute of it. Funny thing is, nobody called Jim Everett a thug, but that word is designed and specifically attached to us. But I understand. Well, sometimes you have to understand when you have when you have somebody like Shannon Sharp, I will say this much. Even though he is a LeBron James advocate, Shannon Sharp does know sports. He knows boxing pretty good. He knows, of course, he knows football. He knows basketball very well. But Shannon Sharp said he got a basketball background. So I'm not going to sit up here and act as if Shannon Sharp don't be knowing what he's talking about. Shannon Sharp is pretty aware of sports, just like I am. I'm not into baseball like I was like 20 years ago. During the Jason Giambi days of the Oakland A's and stuff, I just ain't really been into baseball. But nah, Shannon is doing his thing. Listen, I don't agree with everything Shannon Sharp says, but Shannon Sharp, he do some good stuff. And Shannon Sharp is good at what he do. But he didn't deserve what Skip Bayless did to him. Because like I said, oh, you're jealous. And then Shannon Sharp said, I'm in the Hall of Fame. And Skip Bayless said, so what? If he had did that to me, that's when it would have it would have went left. I'm going to just be honest with you. I can't guarantee you if something physical wouldn't have happened between me and Skip Bayless if I was Shannon Sharp. Because it would have got to the point, hey, listen, dude, I'm tired of you disrespecting me. I might have said, you know what? After the show is concluded, we going outside. Because Skip Bayless used to be talking that tough guy talk. He'd be like, come to the studio and I'll say it right to your face. When Russell Westbrook was talking about say it to my face, he was talking about, nah, say it to my face like in the streets. And we all know that Russell Westbrook would hurt Skip Bayless. And everybody knows, if you from California, we all know that Russell Westbrook got that C connection. We all know Russell Westbrook got ties with the Crips. I'm not saying he's a Crip, but he got ties to the Crip. So, we all know that. I never said that Shannon Sharp was an angel. Didn't you not hear me say that I didn't agree with everything Shannon Sharp did? Shannon Sharp do some good stuff. Listen, I'm not in this mood and this, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in this space now where every time some black dude say something I don't like, I just say I'm done with him. He can be a repeat offender like Stephen A. Smith and Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock goes out of his way to disrespect and demean black people. He wakes up in the morning trying to figure out how he can coon. So that's real talk. So there is a difference. Oh man, listen, dude. I'm not gonna have a long debate with you about Shannon Sharp, dude. I'm not. You on the wrong channel for that. And this ain't even really about Shannon Sharp. This is about Skip Bayless. And in correction, it was Stephen A. Smith that tried to get Kyrie Irving fired. So you need to do more research. There's always somebody that want to come on here and try to debate and try to you know what I'm saying, and try to call themselves trying to make their presence felt. Well, not today. We ain't really talking about Shannon Sharp. We're talking about what Skip Bayless did to Shannon Sharp and his long history of doing to other people. It's always one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Vidicris, ain't nobody said that Shannon Sharp was an angel. Like I said, we have to get into the. I'll give you an example. We have to get into this mode where we can't always say somebody is canceled because they do something we don't like. I'll give you an example. I told Bill over the phone, I told Bill that he shouldn't have went on DJ Vlad's platform because DJ Vlad liked to exploit black people for profit, and he capitalized off basically trying to, what I'm saying, get black people to talk about questionable stuff they did in the past. Just like I'm not finna sit up there and say Tariq Nasheed, he was on Vlad TV. I'm not finna sit up there and cancel Tariq Nasheed because he went on DJ Vlad. That's all I'm saying about Shannon Sharp. I was just like, damn. That's all I'm saying. We too quick to say we done with somebody because they do one thing we don't like. So that's just real talk. That's just me. To sit up here and cancel somebody or say I'm done with him. Now, if you do what Jason Whitlock, I'm telling you, Jason Whitlock, and you can ask my boy LB, I'm telling you, Jason Whitlock, and then here go the thing about Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith that pissed me off. Stephen A. Smith been stealing from Too Raw, he been stealing from LB, he been stealing from Ticket TV, he been stealing from me for years. He watches our channel, but then he tries to sneak this up. I mean, at the end of the day, Stephen A., we know you watch our stuff. Our stuff is hot. It's good. I mean, how many of Too Raw's takes gonna come out your fat lips, Stephen A.? And you been stealing from Ticket, and I know you didn't stole stuff from me. But Jason Whitlock, I'm telling you, Jason Whitlock got a coon Rolodex. He sit up there and be like, man, could somebody please help me try to find a way to coon today? Just like he just constantly attacking Angel Reese. So I'm just saying. But Smith gonna tell ESPN to bring Skip. I'm glad that they ran his ass off of Fox. At the end of the day, Skip Bayless got fired. Anybody that work in broadcasting, anybody that's in that line of business, basically, if you can't come to a new agreement and sign an extension, that means that they don't want you there. Either if they're not willing to pay you what you're looking for, then that means they really don't have an urgency to keep you there. They feel like they can replace you. Now, Stephen A. Smith, it appears he's going to stay with ESPN because they gave him the money he was looking for, allegedly. And I think that final deal for $125 million, they was like, all right, Stephen A., because we'll turn the ranks over to Shannon Sharp with the quickness. Oh, them ratings was horrible. Ratings is everything. That's why I'm sitting up here. Now, I'm going to say something about Cam and Mace. They sitting up there talking about Shakur Stevenson fight was on free TV. Actually, that's an ignorant statement, and that's clueless. First of all, anybody in television, anybody that have a platform, and particularly on YouTube, the more subscribers you have, the more views you have, the more money you make, because this platform goes by ratings. So for them to sit up there and say, well, people watched it because they didn't have nothing else to watch, I have to call Cam and Mace out. That's complete bullshit. People don't randomly, because if that's the case, what was Teofimo Lopez ratings? And I think by them trying to downplay the ratings that he had, and I think that's where Jay Prince got mad at. And like I said, ESPN ain't never been free. It's paid, it's pay TV with a cable subscription, and even on Fire Stick and even on streaming services, you still have to pay for ESPN unless you know how to jailbreak a Fire Stick and stuff. So I just thought they was a little off base when they was sitting up there trying to, basically make it look like his ratings wasn't good, because at the end of the day, to become a pay-per-view star in boxing, you have to have high ratings, and you have to have a following. Why do you think TV shows get pulled off the air? Because of the ratings. How many times have you seen people say, okay, we're pulling this off the air because the ratings are low? So that don't make no sense. The reason why they got the multi-million-dollar deal that they got, because they had good viewership. So for them to try to downplay Shakur's viewership, they sounded a little ignorant, and that just have to be said. Oh, who replaces Skip Bayless? Well, they asked me to do it, but I told them I can't do it. They asked me to do it, but I told them no. One, the money wasn't right, and then they told me that I had to compromise myself. So, I said, no, I'm good. And plus, I don't want to be on TV like that every day. So, I don't know who they gonna have do it. I don't know who they gonna have do it. There's a lot of candidates out there. You know, I think Brian Clusters with I think he's working with ESPN. There's a lot of candidates out there. They might bring that bed wins Jamel Hill back. I don't, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't want that for Cam and Mace to like replace Skip Bayless, because Cam and Mace won't be able to say what they want to say. They wouldn't be able to talk how they want to talk. So, you know, that's a good idea for a video. Who do I think should replace Skip Bayless? They need somebody a little younger. They need somebody a little. I'll tell you who would be a good candidate. You know, he knows sports very well. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing somebody like Joe Buttons, because Joe Buttons is pretty. You know what I'm saying? Joe Button knows sports very well. I just think they should go younger and fresher. Like, who would be a good replacement for Skip Bayless? Max Kellerman. There you go. They should consider bringing Max Kellerman back. Max Kellerman had a short stint on Fox. Bring somebody like Max Kellerman back. But they might go to the woman route, because you know how they have to be politically correct and all that kind of stuff. But it's a lot of different candidates out there. I can't think of them right now. I wouldn't want it to be Cam and Mace, because they wouldn't be able to say what they want to say. So I'm good on that. You know, I'm good on that. They need somebody that got some panache. They need somebody that got some flair, and they need somebody a little bit younger. They need somebody between the age. Skip Bayless is. Here's the thing. Skip Bayless, to a certain degree, he tries to force it. You know, Skip Bayless is 72 years old. And just to a certain degree, you could just tell he tries too hard. Yeah, Jalen Rose. Mark Jackson. Nah. Mark Jackson. Oh, Mark Jackson. Nah. I'll tell you somebody who would be good, but he's just too, he too hyperactive. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Ticket TV would be a good replacement, but once again, Ticket TV wouldn't take a gig like that, because Ticket TV like being able to say what he want to say, and there would be certain things that Ticket wouldn't be able to say. But you know. Yeah, Skip Bayless is just, you know, he's 72 years old. He's 72 years old, and to a certain degree, he look out of place sometimes. You could just tell he be forcing it. You know, they need somebody a little fresher. They need somebody between the age of 35 to maybe 50 something. You know. And Shannon Sharp, he's already locked up at ESPN. So they need somebody to really bring. They need somebody that's like exciting, somebody that has flair to him. Somebody like I said, Jalen Rose would be good, but I don't know. I would be fired in a week. I would be fired in a week if I took a job like that, because one, I like being able to say what I want to say, and I don't like being politically correct, because I'm the type of person I would really like go in on somebody, and then the type of guest I would bring on, they might not be feeling it, but I would, if I had a job like that and I was able to have the freedom to do whatever I wanted, I would really focus on bringing in like boxers. and it would go a different direction, and a little bit more cool. It would be a little bit more urban, but I wouldn't do that because I know I wouldn't be able to say what I wanted to say. But I like the idea of Jalen Rose, Max Kelly, somebody like him. It's somebody else, even though I can stand him. I think he would be interesting too, but I'm not gonna give him no free publicity. I'm not gonna give him no free publicity. Now, Charles Barkley, he would be somebody that they would probably consider. I would go for, but like, and that's the problem. He's too anti-black. He does, you know what I'm saying? Charles Barkley always been a watermelon man. I think Jalen Rose would be a guy. I think he would be more balanced because I think Jalen Rose would be black enough for the blacks, corporate enough for corporate America. So I think he would be a good candidate. I got another dude about this thing. He would be fired in a week because or probably a month, if he could contain himself. Kevin Hart would be good, but Kevin Hart probably wouldn't do it because Kevin Hart do a lot of stuff. I think they need to go the comedic route. Kevin Hart, he knows sports. I think he would be a good choice. But Kevin Hart, we all know Kevin Hart gonna have a slip of the tongue, and he'll probably be fired within a week. Yeah, Kenny's a good candidate. Nah, I don't like John Sally. John Sally is he could be a little too still. And then John say I met him. He's kind of weird. He's kind of weird in person. So nah, I think Jalen Rose would be a really good choice. So I would think Kevin Hart could do a good job, but like I said, y'all know that Kevin Hart eventually have a slip of the tongue, and that'll be his ass. Yes, yeah. Captain Jack would be cool. Captain Jack would be cool. Matt Barnes would be cool. But I think I don't know if Showtime would let them do both jobs, but I like the idea of them. Like I said, I like Kevin Hart. I like, who else? I like Joe Buttons. Dudes like that. Or bringing back Max Kellerman. Dudes like that. I think if Max Kellerman came back and Max Kellerman brought somebody, with him, because Max Kellerman been doing this for a while, and Max Kellerman is around 50. And once again, I think Max Kellerman would be somewhat of a safe choice. And don't be surprised if Max Kellerman's name pop up too as a candidate to replace Skip Bayless. I've been doing this for a while, so don't be surprised if Max Kellerman's name start to pop up as a possible replacement. They may want somebody established, but then again, I feel like they should go a fresh route. No, I think Joe Buttons would be, Grant Hill. Who else? I'll tell you somebody who could do it, but once again, you wouldn't be able to you wouldn't be able to contain them. I wouldn't mind them going somewhere like going down where they do something kind of unorthodox. I wouldn't mind them like bringing in somebody like Corey Holcomb. Imagine if Fox hired Corey Holcomb and they like at least somewhat cut him loose. If they tell Corey Holcomb, look, man, just don't drop no F-bombs, be you, but just try not to go off. Let me tell you something. If Fox hired Corey Holcomb, when I say the ratings would be at an all-time high, but Corey Holcomb wouldn't do it. Corey Holcomb would do it. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. Nah, Joe Brown too old. He too old. Joe Brown is too old. He too old. You know who would knock it out the box if he got hired? But he'd want too much money. They'd have to give him like, you know who would knock it out the box? Will Smith. If Will Smith replaced Skip Bayless, when I say that would be like, Will Smith would nail it. But Will Smith probably would want too much money. Corey Holcomb and Will Smith would draw. When I say they would draw numbers, they would. When I say Corey Holcomb or Will Smith would, but Will Smith would want too much money. They not gonna pay. Hell nah. Hell nah. You tripping? If they hire Corey Holcomb, Will Smith, or Kevin Hart, when I say the ratings would be at an all-time high, but like I said, you would be worried about Corey Holcomb. They wouldn't be able to contain Corey Holcomb because you would be worried about Corey Holcomb dropping an F-bomb or saying something even worse. Then we know Kevin Hart got a loose mouth. I think Will Smith would be great because I think Will Smith, like I said, Will Smith would draw like when I say Will Smith, they would have the highest ratings ever. But like I said, I don't think they can afford Will Smith. Dude said Martin Lawrence going on tour. If I'm not mistaken, Martin Lawrence is coming to the Bay too. I think Martin Lawrence coming to Oakland too. I'm gonna have to check it. I think around December. I like Corey Holcomb, but like I said before, Corey Holcomb, and I bet you they gonna ask Corey Holcomb on this show would he replace Skip Bayless, and Corey Holcomb gonna say the same. He gonna be like, I would do it, but I know they ain't gonna let me be me. Cause Corey Holcomb the type of dude, he can wing stuff. Yeah, Martin Lawrence is going on tour. Martin Lawrence, if I'm not mistaken, he coming to the Bay Area. If he not coming to Oakland, he coming to Frisco. Hey, Dave Chappelle would be a good host. Me, myself, I think Fox need to go unorthodox. I think they need to get somebody you would least expect. Once again, Cat Williams. If Cat Williams wouldn't be able to contain himself. Once again, I mean, if they went somewhere, let's say, I wouldn't mind them going the direction, like they need to go unorthodox. Somebody like Cat Williams would be cool, but he wouldn't be able to contain himself. I think Gary Owen would be a good choice. To be honest with you, I think that's right up Gary Owens' alley. JB Smooth, Faison Love. Matter of fact, I'm a text Faison Love. I'm gonna tell Faison Love he should replace Skip Bayless on FS1. Nah, Omar Epps, he don't. Mike Epps. But once again, Mike Epps, dudes like that, they would be great, but you have to wonder, can they control themselves? Can they contain themselves? Yeah, JB Smooth, hell, the JB Smooth would be a Jay Farrell, hell yeah. Jay Farrell with them impersonations. I'll tell you somebody else who would be an underrated host, but I think he would be interesting is Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino. Yeah, JB Smooth. Yes, yeah. You know what's so funny? What's so funny is I've been trying to get Mark Curry. I've been trying to get Mark Curry, trying to get an interview with him, and I've been working on that. So I'm going through his people, trying to see can I get him on here and stuff. But he would be good. He would be a good choice because he got a basketball background too. But yeah, Fox, they need to go outside the box. But anyway, you guys, appreciate you guys tapping in. We'll talk about this later on.